Welcome to Heist. I'm Bradley Hackworth, joined by Jonathan Ems, otherwise known as Doc.
Hello, fellow humans.
Sorry about that. And this week we are going to be covering part 2, because last week we really tried to go through, but we wound up covering filling the entire time, all 3+ hours, just talking about Garp. So we split it up, hopefully first time, last time, where we're going to be splitting the episode up. But this is Season 2, Episode 7, Part 2. And Garp versus the Legend of Drunken Master.
Also known as Drunken Master 2.
True. I mean, come on, man. It's got a Mandarin title. It's got a Chinese title. It's got a... this movie's known by quite a few things. I think it's like Lai Ken or Lai Quen or... Shouldn't even try. I honestly shouldn't even try. And going through the cast and crew on this one is probably going to be a little bit insensitive, but I'm giving it my best shot.
Go for it, man.
All right, so The Legend of Drunken Master, directed by Chia-Liang and Jackie Chan. The film credits Leung, which, like I said, you have the actors' names in Mandarin and you have the actors' names in Cantonese. So it does get a little bit confusing. Written by Edward Tang, Man-Ming Tong, and Kai-Chi Yuen. Or is that Wen? Wow, this was a mistake. Starring Jackie Chan, Leung Ti, and Anita Mui. With Karlok Chin, Felix Wong, I can say that one, and Ho Sung Pak. Anita Mui, if I'm saying that correctly, and I kind of doubt it, she passed not in like the very early 2000s, and every once in a while you kind of see like an actor who passed young. Brittany Murphy, for example, probably would have gone on to do tremendous things. Anita Mui, oh my God, she was amazing. Martial arts, her comedic timing, everything about her was absolutely fantastic.
I mean, by all rights, she basically was a female Jackie Chan. It's kind of shocking she never got her own star in that regards. And I think probably her passing,
but I think it just didn't happen. Yeah. Like if she would have survived, she would be like Michelle Yeoh.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like same thing with Michelle Yeoh. She was another female Jackie Chan. And she managed to, break through the ceiling and get her own name out there and stuff like that. Anita Mui probably would have done the same if she hadn't passed away. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, she was tremendously talented. Real quick on this one. Oh, I already kind of discussed that. Anyway, the director, Chia-Liang, left the project to go make another drunken boxing movie due to creative differences with Jackie. And Jackie did direct the final fight of this film. Mm-hmm. That was all Jackie because the director left because he couldn't handle working with Jackie.
Huh. Okay.
And
I could see that.
But that's the thing. Like Jackie does not like working on Western films because it's always about the money. Get it. Move on.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan's movies, they take 200 takes sometimes to get that shot.
Yeah. No, that's the thing that's kind of always amazing because people like when they talk about directors like I'm blanking on names all day today.
Hey man, we all have those days. We just do.
Yeah. The Shining,
Kubrick.
Barry Lyndon. Kubrick, thank you. Jesus. Right. How embarrassing is that to forget Stanley Kubrick's name?
That one is a little rough,
so it's like so it's like, that was one of those things about, Kubrick. It's like Kubrick famously has to do hundreds, 100+ takes of every scene and is a nightmare to work with because everyone's like, we got it, man. It's perfect. And he's like, no, do it one more time. And it's like, and people have, big stars like Jennifer Jason Leigh have quit halfway through Kubrick movies because he's impossible to work with.
Well, that's what Shelley
Jackie
Duvall.
Chan is apparently... Shelley Duvall when she ended up in a sanitarium because of him. Yeah, exactly. Yep. But that's the thing is like Jackie Chan is essentially the Chinese Kubrick. No one gives him any shit about it. because his movies are that fucking amazing.
Well, I imagine that people do give him shit. I mean, like literally, like this director left the movie because Jackie wasn't happy with these takes. Like it does happen, but because he's Chinese, and I'm guessing all that stuff kind of comes out there. Like,
oh, okay.
Like
so
in America,
you think
people still have conspiracy theories over how Bruce Lee died, and like when you watch an interview with Jackie Chan, they're like, "No, that's not." Everybody knows. Like, what are you talking about? Like that's just Americans like trying to throw mystery into the land of China. Like
right, yeah.
that's all that like really is all that is. But
although there are conspiracies about the death of Kubrick as well.
I'm sure, man, there's conspiracies about everything.
Yeah.
And like you said, like Robert Funches. That's his name, right?
Ron Funches?
Ron Funches. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, right, yes.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you believe in every conspiracy, there's something a little bit wrong with you. But you don't believe none?
Right.
Like,
yes.
I mean, come on. You think the government's batting 1,000?
Exactly. Yeah. No. He nailed it.
Like you have to be reasonable with this stuff, and that's where like
what is Ron Funches doing right now? I just realized there's a serious lack of Funches in my life. What show is he on now? I'm gonna go watch it. I don't think I've seen
good question.
Like, yeah, because like I know he's in Harley Quinn. He does the voice of King Shark and Harley Quinn, and that's awesome. But as far as like actually seeing him, I haven't seen him since that Powerless show that he was on, and I feel like I'm jonesing for some Funches now that you brought him up.
Could be. I mean, dude, he kind of comedically nails it every time. So I can see that.
It's so good.
All right, but getting into the Legend of Drunken Master, or Drunken Master 2, however you want to. I don't like. I'm gonna run out of the ability to tag this just on the different names of the friggin' movie, man.
Or you'll have more tags than any other video we've ever had.
There might be that. All right. So the film opens on Jackie Chan, his father, and their assistant on a train station, and they're trying to hide ginseng to avoid taxes, and then only to have it be mistakenly switched with a stolen artifact. I love that moment. It's like, I could hide it in my trousers. Like, and then he like says like, we can put it on the master, and he can look like he has an adult diaper. I'm sorry, man.
Right.
The goofy, like how goofy this movie is. And we talked about this before. Like if we were able to watch Secret Ballot in Iranian and actually understand Iranian, might be way better of a movie.
Right. Yeah, that's probably true. There's probably a lot of wordplay going on that we are just not privy to because it's in a different language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you able to find the original Chinese with subtitles, or how did that work for you?
Yes. No, yeah, I got it in Chinese with English subtitles. Very, very cheap ass version. It looked like it had been subtitled before they had like invented the border around the
closed captioning.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, it didn't have the sound effects listed in it, but it was like nowadays they're good with the captions because they'll put like a little black. It's like white letters, a little black border, so that if something on the screen is white, you don't lose the letters. Did not have this in the version that I had. The version I had, occasionally I would miss some words because the background is also white. So
that is what I've seen plenty of movies like that where watching the subtitles. Yeah, no, I get that. Hate that. Always. This is the first look at the English console, and then everybody's just kind of like busting through. It's like, how come they don't have to pay taxes? Well, if you become a consul, then you won't have to pay taxes either. Oh. Is that all I have to do? Like, just how cheeky Jackie Chan always is in all of his movies. Perfect. I love it every time.
Well, and it's interesting too because all of this is very like comedic, tongue-in-cheek setup to what is eventually going to become some very, very biting commentary about the British occupation of Chinese territories. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm sorry, but the point that he makes in this movie, he's like, and if we're not careful, our children will have to go to Britain to learn about our culture. And I'm sitting there going, ooh, that happened.
Yeah.
That still happened. That is what happened. Ouch.
Well, I mean, keeping in mind, Hong Kong was a British territory until 1997. And I don't know if this is supposed to take place in a Hong Kong territory or just like another Chinese territory. I don't know how much of
I don't know.
Britain held, how much of China Britain held before they actually just held on Hong Kong until recently.
I don't know, but this movie was released in 1994. So this was made about 4 years before that separation. So and that's the thing, like this movie's talking about like our like Chinese culture has to stay in China, all of these things, like,
right.
Anti-immigration, like some xenophobia and stuff like that. However, in this film, very righteous, like it, like
right, exactly, yeah,
very deserved kind of xenophobia, which is a weird. Like, I'm sorry, that is a weird word for me to try to get out tonight. I don't know what's going on with that one. Hey, you can't get names. I'm struggling with just basic communication. It's gonna be a fun episode.
It must be a full moon. I don't.
When they
I haven't actually looked out the window. I don't know.
I don't even know if I could see it. When they finally let all of the regular people kind of bust through the gates, come down, and they let them in, watching everybody bust through the windows of that train to find their seats. Wasn't that nuts?
I know, right? Like that's one of those things that's always kind of like whenever I see, and it's like true in China, and I see it in like India and Middle Eastern countries and stuff. When you see these trains that are so heavily packed, and you've got people riding on top, you've got people hanging on the side as it's going.
Oh, you're talking like the videos of like the people who work at the train station, like shoving people through the doors to like make sure that they fit.
So, like these things stress me the fuck out every time I see them.
You lived in China for a little bit. Like, is that? Don't you have experience?
I never went anywhere near a train. Never went anywhere near a train.
Oh.
I rode the bus everywhere.
How long were you in China?
2 years.
You never even tried the train? Like nothing?
No.
I would have tried to go for an experience. I definitely would have taken all of my money and everything and left it at home and all that. Like I would have prepared and planned to be pickpocketed, but I still would have. I mean, it's an experience. I would have gone for it. Somebody tries to pickpocket the dad, and then just honestly, like, expert catches him, busts him, chops him up a little bit.
Yep.
But then the ego-driven son, Jackie Chan, just goes chasing him down and gets called back. I like the lesson that his dad gave him. Like, what have I told you about chasing local thieves? The local man always has the advantage.
Right, exactly.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was weird that they only cast somebody 8 years older than Jackie Chan to play his dad. But I thought that was cool.
Yeah. It's there was a lot of it was interesting the even as the movie progresses and the father becomes a little bit more antagonistic, there's never not any wisdom behind anything that he does. That's the interesting thing about his character.
Oh no, I mean he is a master. He has some goof moments, which I really appreciate. But his goof moments come from the fact that he's surrounded by just legendary comedy.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I could see two things happening. Having a family like that and either laughing my ass off all the time or being so annoyed that I'm about to lose my mind.
You're in a constant state of about to lose your shit. Because can my son, the wily fucking coyote, please just chill out for one day?
Yep. Yes. Like that is, I could see it going both ways. No matter what, it would be entertaining to be the buddy of that guy though.
Right. No, sure. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, that would be. And let me ask you this question. When Jackie Chan is like cheating at Shoji and he's like, look, Dad, giant beaver. And his dad's like, I've seen lots of them. What joke do you think that was?
I can't even begin to imagine. Like I said, probably something lost in translation. It probably would have been more obvious if we spoke Chinese.
I think it was pretty obvious. I honestly, I watched that. I was like, did they just make that joke? Outstanding. Because I never would have caught that when I was a kid. Clearly, I didn't.
Probably. No, that's true. That's a very good point. Yeah. Probably would have thought, like, no, yeah, beavers, and they're all over China.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known. Nope, would not have caught that joke. But then we go to the marketplace incident, and Jackie goes to retrieve the. Oh wait, no. On the.
Take your time. Take your time.
So Jackie Chan goes to retrieve the ginseng because he switched it, and he wound up with what we'll find out is an Emperor's Jade Seal. I don't know which Emperor. I don't remember if they actually said.
They do. In fact, I think they make a point to basically say like it doesn't matter just by the very nature of the fact that it is an Emperor's Jade Seal is what makes it important. It is a historical relic one way or another.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. The scene where they go to release the ducks into the rich people's cabin, and then they just come up. They have a whole thing of ducks in their hands, and I wanted one of those ducks to just snap at Jackie. Just because I wanted to see a Jackie Chan reaction to having a duck go after him. So I'm a little sad that didn't happen. But did you see the final shot of that? The very final frame of that.
The very when like the ducks are like literally like flying at people, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like the people in that car were straight up accosted by those ducks.
Did you notice when they cut though?
No.
A duck flew right into a flaming bowl. And that was when they cut. And that was when they cut the scene. Oh my God, you have to go back and watch that and see. Like, it's a little messed up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, PETA's gonna come after me. But that was, oh my God. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, did that just backed it up? That did. Roasted duck.
Wow.
I thought that was hilarious. But I can understand why they cut at that moment, but I kind of want to know what happened after that. Because no matter how messed up, they had a flaming duck flying around set.
At least for a second, anyway.
At least for a second.
I imagine.
Yep. So, like I said, it doesn't really matter how messed up that is. Because it is.
Because there's just like there's no stuntman like union protecting the lives of the stuntmen in China, and that's one of the reasons why these movies are so hardcore. But they also don't have an ASPCA. There's no one making sure no animals were harmed in the making of this film. No. There's all bets are off when these movies.
I have a note later on apart from later on. That bamboo fight scene in the restaurant, I would not have wanted to even be a stuntman there.
No, that was terrifying. Yeah,
absolutely terrifying scene. And that's just like a very, very cool, very awesome, like stunning fight choreography. I imagine about a dozen of those guys got seriously injured.
Probably, yeah. No, that was genuine threats to life going on in that scene. Yes, for sure.
That was rough. The impressive display of drunken boxing against the director, because that was the director of the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy who played Fu Wen.
I think. Yeah. The master?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the director.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, the guy definitely knows his stuff, so that's the guy you want.
Right.
And he did a very good job for the entirety of the movie. Like, and I'm not disappointed with the final fight sequence at all. It doesn't even break from the directing style of the entire film.
No, it all comes off pretty seamlessly, yeah.
Yeah, so that I was very impressed by that. So the Under the Train starts off with just Jackie versus a spear, then a sword versus a spear, escaping through the steam, and then Jackie demanding the apology. Like, you called me a traitor. You thought I was somebody else. I want you to say you're sorry. And then he gets the apology. He's like, I don't think you mean it. No, he's just out looking for a fight.
No, yeah. No, it's made very clear. This kid's clearly got issues. He's trying to prove something to somebody. He's in a constant state of
Jackie Chan is older than me in this movie.
But he's the kid in this. That's the thing.
I know. Watching this movie, it feels like watching like community theater or literally high school theater because everybody is the same age and they're playing mom, dad, stepmom, like all this stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
I couldn't stop laughing about that the entire time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just thinking how it was like, yeah, that like this kid's got something to prove, like constantly. Like the movie starts with like trying to sneak the ginseng past the customs in order to not have to pay the tariff on it, basically. There's no reason to do that. Like, there's zero reason. He has the money. His dad can afford it. His dad's just going to turn around and sell the stuff right to another customer. He's probably already factored in the price of the tariff to the price of selling it to this other townsman. There's literally he's only doing it because he feels like he has something to prove.
I see that.
And then when the the other guy steals it, thinking it's the artifact, he manages to get it back, but then still chases the guy down to get an apology from him about you dare to call me a traitor. Like, dude, you're gonna miss your fucking train.
Oh yeah, and he almost does. But this is the first hint that Jackie only knows how to use drunken boxing for defense. Because he like keeps pushing himself back, and he like holds himself in that position, and he's like, "Come on, attack me!" And the master's like, "No, like clearly that's your strong suit. Why would I do that? No, you come over here and get your ass kicked." Like, no, like I thought that was a really clever way to end that scene, and then also with like Jackie trying to like run off and catch it, but that when he gets on the train, they kind of sit there and look at each other and realize, they don't look at each other, they look at what they have and realize that they don't have the right items.
Right. Yeah.
Good classic.
Yeah, Master got away with the ginseng, and Jackie got away with the jade seal, and yeah.
But you got to admit, like, the fact that Jackie Chan is playing like an impetuous child in this film, and the first fight that he loses is because he didn't pick up his toys, basically. I thought I thought that was a fantastic choice to kind of like show the situational awareness of Jackie versus this other master.
Right, yeah.
I thought that was done very, very well. He almost misses the train, the ginseng mix-up. And when they go searching for the people, and Jackie panics because he finds the seal, and then he gets saved by that military intelligence officer.
Yeah, the military, and that guy is interesting because his motivation is kind of weird right from the get-go. And I'm going to take a shot in the dark here because he first notices Jackie like with the pickpocket bit, sees him try to go after the pickpocket, and then he's also watching him, sees him cheat his dad at shogi, and then when they notice the jade seal is stolen and now they're turning over the train and they're like, everybody empty out all your luggage and all this, he steps forward and is like, hey, I know these people, you can leave them alone. Like, what's his motivation? And all that in line, I'm gonna say that I'm pretty sure that this agent just straight up had a crush on Jackie and just wanted to impress him, be like, don't worry, guy, I got this. You don't need to check their luggage at all. Here's my badge. I'm intelligence. You can leave my friend here alone,
Wow. Wow. No.
No. You didn't see any of that, really? Honestly, I'm the only one who saw that.
The English consulate was going through looking for the thing that they were trying to smuggle out, and the counterintelligence officer realized what was like where it was, and went, "No, it ain't there."
I don't think he did. I honestly think he was just like, I don't think he saw it. I think
like he had to have, because that was the like what you were just talking about when he first saw Jackie Chan, like when he first mentioned him. When we first get eyes on the counterintelligence officer, he's looking at Jackie, watching him switch the ginseng with the jade. That's the first.
Oh, I missed that.
That's the first look that we get him. He looks through and he smiles at him. He's like, nice, like kind of type deal. So he knows that the jade seal is with him, and the English consulate is looking for it. He literally went through and stopped them from finding it.
Okay, I missed that first interaction. I thought his first interaction was was watching him with the pickpocket. Okay.
But we do get our quick look at the English discussing the seal of the emperor, talking about like all the power that comes with it, the importance of it, and it's just a real quick scene to kind of explain that and give us a little bit of information on the steel workers. It's like, because we have steel workers that are working as much as they have. They've been lured there by free room and board, but now they're like, nope, you're going to keep working and we're not going to pay you any extra. And they, understandably go into a protest that probably would have turned into a riot, but the others kind of made it become one before they had a chance to.
Right, yeah. So the guys the Union busters they sent also happened to be kung fu masters, and so they broke up that protest pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I gotta say, one of my absolute favorite, because I watched it a few times, and the best, the mom playing mahjong, sitting there,
Oh god,
praying to the idol and like in front of the shrine and all that, and then turns around and then she hammers and then she wins at mahjong. Everything.
Yep.
Jackie Chan coming through the door and just constantly ratting her out nonstop, and she's like, "You need to shut up."
Yep.
I'm sorry, that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and that whole routine of like her and her friends like pretending to be sick, like we weren't playing mahjong. I'm caring for my friends, and it was almost like, and
It was an
I know
SNL
we
skit.
draw this, yeah. Well, and it just kind of, it's almost like people try to draw this through line between like martial arts movies and like Broadway dance musicals and stuff like that. It is most apparent right there in that scene,
Oh,
because
sure.
when she's like jumping around, like grabbing the evidence out of the air and doing like full acrobatic stuff, and then immediately dropping right into just, you know, the Contessa pose, perfect Contessa pose right there. It's like, this is musical theater right here. You can see it. You know?
Very much. But but the comedy that comes out of that, the doctor comes home and he's like, "All right, who's first?" And she's like, "Oh, it's fine. They only have cramps."
Right.
Oh my god.
Because even the town doctor doesn't want to hear about woman problems.
Oh, too fun. And it was just, well, I mean, she says, she's like, "All they need is a healing touch, and that's what you say I have."
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that
All right.
like it was killing me. But then moves like the wind to hide the gambling. Like, because when they, like, Jackie Chan picks up those chips and just like that whole
Right,
little
yeah.
effect that they give on that. Loved it. Then they realize the ginseng is gone, and I think it's Mr. Wong, maybe Mr. Wang. I don't know. But
The servant, right?
no, the servant's name is Cho. So
Oh, right.
no, it
The
was
guy who's buying the ginseng from him.
Yeah,
right.
the
That's
patient.
right. Yes.
He shows up to get the ginseng because, needs it.
Right.
Then, oh my god, the mom coming out, like, she doesn't know what ginseng looks like, comes out, grabs a giant radish, like, "Is it this?" Jack's like, "No." And I don't understand. Maybe this is a Chinese cultural thing. I don't know. Maybe Chinese Hollywood. Dropping to the ground and grabbing your earlobes. What is that?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've seen it in a lot of movies too. I'm not 100% sure either.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to throw conjecture on
So yeah,
that.
I'm gonna go with some sort of cultural thing. Yeah.
That's my guess. And then they bank on blaming, like, no matter what. It's like, okay, just blame Cho. Like, you got it. Like, doesn't matter what's going to happen. We'll be fine. Just blame Cho.
Right.
I had a lot of fun with that. The stepmom has no clue what.
No,
The
no
notes are
one
harder, man.
has any clue. Yeah, no one has any clue what ginseng looks like, apparently, in this family, except for the dad. The dad, the doctor. Like, Jackie doesn't know what ginseng looks like. Mom doesn't know what ginseng looks like. Cho, the servant, doesn't know what ginseng looks like. The guy buying the ginseng doesn't know what ginseng looks like.
Well, Jackie,
Yeah.
somebody does. They grab that bonsai root and they do their best to, and it does kind of look like ginseng.
Okay. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
mean, if they do close enough, then, oh my god, Jackie coming through, be like, "You need to keep it close to your heart. It likes to be nice and warm and close to your heart." The dad was like the only straight man in this movie. Everybody else was the goofball.
Right. Yeah.
But it worked. It worked really well having it go that way.
Yeah.
And I like the way that that scene ends. Like, maybe he won't die. And then Jack's like,
Maybe.
maybe he won't be fatal.
Right. Yeah.
Just
knock on wood.
Just brush it off. He might not die. I don't know. But yeah, we were talking about the steel workers and the grim reality of workers being exploited for overtime, and our first look at Chekhov's alcohol. And it was a very, very good, it was a very clever inclusion to have it go down that way.
Yep.
I mean, it starts very peaceful, throw some alcohol on the fire to kick up the flames, and apparently it is very, very potent alcohol because those flames went up pretty good.
Oh yeah.
So you got to
Well,
get
and
that.
that's the thing that I've always found impressive, and not just in this movie, but in a lot of Jackie Chan movies, about how when it comes to stuff like that, and we see it later on in the bamboo fight as well, how the exposition to let you know what is dangerous is very minimal. It is the absolute minimal of what you need to know what is dangerous. And that's kind of one of those subtle arts of Jackie Chan movies that I have always been impressed by.
Fair
And that's
enough.
one of them.
I mean, there's about a million things about every Jackie Chan movie that absolutely impresses me, and always has, always will. And the older I get and the less capable I get, I'm gonna find it even better. Like I'm gonna love
No,
it.
it's
Even,
true,
I'm
yeah.
gonna love it even more. I know it. Uh, so a new foreman and new working rules, which we talked about, and that breaks out into a brawl. And that scene pretty much ends and sums up with them walking out of the steelworker to find that the kung fu school next door is practicing, and they're like, "I want them gone."
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Legally.
This British consulate guy, for some reason, is just unbelievably annoyed that there are martial arts people practicing next door to him for some reason. He doesn't like the noise of their of them or something. Like, yeah,
I mean, dude's a pretty
he's
big
just
hater.
like, no, yeah, straight up, yeah. He's just kind of mean about everything.
And the weird thing is, he never got his in the whole movie.
no, he really didn't. Yeah,
That. Oh.
he kind of vanished. He just sort of left town and never. Yeah, no one ever said anything.
No, he
about,
got away.
Like, yeah.
That probably wouldn't happen in the Americanized version if they did.
Probably, yeah. Yep.
Well, no, I mean because a lot of I don't want to say they do, but they do succeed, but they do try to wrap up most things in
yeah, well,
movies.
and that might be kind of the point to it, because the main villain of this movie isn't the British consulate. The British consulate, they're just run of the mill assholes that everyone expects British people to be.
Well, who do you think the main
the
villain
real
is?
the main villain is the Chinese national who is working for him and is exploiting his own people on behalf of the British.
I thought you were gonna take it to a different standpoint,
No,
because the real villain of this movie is either immigration or it's alcoholism. So that's where I thought you were going. I thought you were taking that kind of standpoint, but
no. It's the guy who's basically betraying his own people. That's the real villain. The guy who is willfully exploiting his own people on behalf of the British oppressors. That guy is the real villain.
okay, I will give you that. I love the market showcase when Jackie Chan goes to the market to pick up some fish or whatever, and he winds up getting challenged by Sang or T Sang. How do I say that? Sang?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Challenges Chan because he's jealous of Fun's admiration of his skills. And
Yeah,
that was a great scene.
yeah. Well, and you just kind of felt sorry for this guy too, because she's sitting there like she couldn't be more obvious. Where he's like, he can tell she's being very physical in her work. She's clearly got skills, and he's like, hey, I could teach you some real kung fu. And she's like, yep, no thanks, don't care. And then as soon as Jackie walks in, she's like, hey, Jackie, you can teach me drunken boxing. And this guy's like, oh man,
I know, I felt bad for the guy. I did.
Yeah.
But you know what? Don't compete with Jackie.
Nah,
I mean, that's a pretty life lesson right there.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but what I really loved about this is just the subtlety in it. Never said, but Jackie Chan, he goes from that drunken boxing, the finger thing, and then right into the kung fu one, because he's not allowed to do that in public. His dad has forbidden it. So we see this epic struggle that Jackie Chan is having with knowing he has all the skill in the world to completely tank this fight, but knowing that he has to show that restraint to respect his father's wishes.
Right.
Never.
Because for him, for whatever reason, and this can be, this is true for everybody, some styles of martial arts work better for you than others. You know, there is no one martial art that is the absolute best. It depends on your body type. It depends on your own physical skill set. And for whatever reason, Jackie's
that's
character,
right. How long did you do martial arts?
For like 10 years.
For 10 years. Okay.
Yeah. And you know, I had a few friends that all practiced different stuff too. So, you know, I've been familiar with, you know, a lot of different things. I had friends that, you know, did judo. I had friends that did, you know, some kung fu, and it was very much like your body type does dictate which ones you're gonna be good at.
Right.
Honestly. And yeah, so for whatever reason, Jackie's character feels way more comfortable in drunken boxing and feels more confident and is better at fighting in drunken boxing than kung fu. But his father has decided, no, drunken boxing is offensive. You're going to do kung fu, and that's it.
I love the explanation that his dad actually tosses into why he's against drunken boxing. But that does come a little later, and we will get into that. But we cut from there. I mean, obviously, this fight at the marketplace, Jackie Chan is going to win it. He gets his free food. He's honorable. He's a nice guy.
Right.
Fantastic.
Just like the chick loves him for it, for, you know, being a stand-up guy. And even the guy who's challenging him can't be mad at him because he's like, it was a fair fight, you know?
Fair fight. I definitely, because,
yeah.
And that was the thing, like, Jackie kept trying to, like, hide the fact that he won the fight over and over again. Like, he got the guy like here, and then he's like, ooh, and then he let go to let the fight keep going. And just by the end of that, man, how just utterly defeated Sang must have felt. Like, I didn't just get beat once, man. I got beat like 7 times. Like that had to, and the fact that he's not even reveling in that means, on top of it, this motherfucker pities me. Yep, that would sting a little bit. Got to give him that.
Yeah.
But then we cut from here right over to the family dinner and the underlying tension as the family is discussing like Jackie's future. And the mom's like, well, you know, we'll have like, he's lonely. I mean, maybe we should have a little boy or a little girl, a sibling or something like that. Which I'm like, guys, Jackie's 40. I think he has a grandchild hanging out at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Like this was
although in this whole thing though, you got to appreciate that at the very, very least, they managed to cover it just a little by making sure they point out that she's not his mom, she's his stepmom. So it's not that weird that she's actually younger than him.
I'm so happy that you said not that weird, because you know who his mom is, right?
No.
Her sister.
I did not catch that.
Oh, it is such a subtle moment. But when later in the film, when she is praying to his ex-wife and Jackie's real mom for guidance and all that, and she's like, "For our husband, dear sister," because she calls the man our husband, and she's talking to her sister.
Well, okay, see, I do remember that line. I took that as like a relation thing that is, since if you're married to the same guy, that technically makes you sisters, not like that they were actual sisters before they were married. That's how I took it.
I'm not diving in and creating anything. I'm going right with the obvious thing because that nope. I mean, because this ain't real. You know they did that for shock value. Like,
probably no. Actually, no. You got a point there. Yes, if they were gonna do like a comedy line and throwing in the like, oh yeah, he married the baby sister, then yeah, for sure.
No,
that probably was intentional.
That's why I'm gonna double down on that one.
Okay, all right, I'll go with you there on that.
I'm sorry, Leung's like unbelievable comedy to keep the peace was just, I loved it. Just trying to hawk the jewelry, and then when the like. And I like this moment where like all the bros are trying to like comfort the master, like, hey man, it's not that bad. Like, we fall on hard times. You don't have to tell us. And he's like, I literally have no idea what's going on. I'm fine.
Right. Yeah.
And the mom plays it so well. It was, I loved it so much. It was too good.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurant brawl though, the very first one. And again, Anita Mui. Oh my God, her comedy. The fact that this hasn't been GIFed yet or turned into a meme or something where she's like, robber, like this whole thing. Oh my God, that should, I don't know how that's not my screensaver. if I still had a screensaver. But that is that. Oh my god, that had to be one of the absolute most diabolically hilarious moments of this film.
No, it was brilliant. Her that whole like the comedy routine of her selling the jewelry all the way up to when the fight breaks out and she's even like kind of like taking off her shoes and getting ready to join the fray. You know,
Oh
like
my,
that whole she actually. And I know that maybe this will be argued, and I know this may be even like a blasphemy to say, but in that section of the movie, she outshined Jackie Chan of all
oh,
people. Like
she
she
very
was,
much did, because
yeah,
like the smugglers, they punch her in the face and her mouth goes, and like she's doing
right,
all of her lines like, yeah, like throw the purse, and then she like hikes her dress up, comes up, and then one-handed like He-Man catches the purse, and then everybody starts applauding. No, that is wildly hilarious.
well,
That was
and
outstanding.
even after she does that, after she like does the skirt hike and grabs the purse, and she's getting ready to like come
Oh
after this
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
That's when Jackie steps in and he's like, "Hey, stepmom, the rest of the town's ladies are watching," and then she's like, "Oh right, I'm the lady now," and like drops the skirt and is just like all demure, and she's like, "Oh, save me, son," you know, like, oh god, that's
Which feeds
just
into exactly like Jackie does the exact same thing like 2 scenes later when Fu Wen shows up.
right.
But so she's like, all right, it's time. Drunken boxing. And he's like, are you sure? She's like, I'm telling you. I'm like, what about dad? Me. And I
Right, yeah.
like that. I like that. He's not here. You listen to me. I'm your mom, 40-year-old man. And I'm never gonna get past that. Um but then like he gets drunk and just tanks everybody and is up the comedy in that, like he's just chugging down this wine. He's like, whew, that's the good stuff. And he just
Right,
absolutely
yeah.
wrecks everybody. But then the dad shows up and Jackie can't quite figure out that that's him.
Right.
Ooh.
He's so into the fight, he basically starts punching his own dad without even realizing he's not one of the robbers.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
that really showcased how unbelievably masterful his dad was, because all these guys are getting their asses kicked by Jackie. Jackie can't land a single punch on him.
Right, yeah.
Like,
No.
this guy is the true, like, you go like the boss status. No, he is the one, clearly. But
Yeah.
and I love that, like, he's when he realizes that it's his dad, he's like, Daddy? Which I'm so sad I didn't get to watch this in like with Jackie Chan's actual voice with the subtitles. I had to watch it on Amazon. I hated that.
Mm.
I hated it so much, but is what it is. That getting back to their home and the lecture
Mm.
from dad, and as he's just kind of going off on everybody on how, drunken boxing like leads to alcoholism and all this, and he's kind of whooping some ass.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, it's not at this point. When he finds out about the bonsai, then Jackie gets his ass whooped.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, this scene is it's kind of a cascading thing that we have happen here, because it's like one thing after the other. First dad's pissed at him about drunken boxing. Then he's pissed at mom because he's like, "What's this I hear about you selling jewelry?" And then that's immediately followed up by the guy's wife showing up saying like, "Yeah, that ginseng you sold him wasn't ginseng. He's nearly dead."
No, 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 no,
Like,
no, 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 no. He only took half, thank God. So he's
right,
only half dead.
right.
That was a Looney Tunes line.
It really, really was.
100%.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's like it all everything that Jackie has done wrong up to and his mom, everything that Jackie and his stepmom have done behind dad's back all comes out all at once. And it's like, I don't know who I feel sorry for more. Dad having his world crash down around him, realizing how much crazy shit has been going on behind his back for the last 24 hours, or the family, because he unleashes on them when he finds out.
That's kind of a thing, because both Kelly and I said, like, we were talking about this during this scene. Like, it was very uncomfortable. This is a comedy. Yes, it's a fighting movie, but this was like a straight up abuse scene. And
Yes,
that
yeah.
was that moment. It's like, okay, you can push an asshole But when you push a nice guy too far, that's what happens. Assholes kind of know how to deal with like anger and stuff like that in somewhat of a like an emotionally healthy way. They get it out.
Right.
The ones who harbinge that Jack Nicholson, anger management with Adam Sandler.
That was
what he
that was
says
a surprisingly
in there,
good movie, actually.
honestly, yes. There are two types of people who need anger management. There's the explosive guy who is just yelling at the cashier. Then there's the quiet guy, the guy who sits in the back of the store, listens to everything yelling and all that, and then one day decides to come to the store with a gun. You're the second guy. The dad was the second guy.
Yes,
the dude had been pushed way too far. But they went into it with a little bit of comedy. They came out of it with some comedy. Because even though he is like beating the crap out of Jackie and he's trying to disown him and kick him out, kicking him out and dragging him to the front door came with some very uncomfortable laughter. Because he's dragging him out. The music and the tension, everything in the scene is very emotional. But he's tripping over shit and he's falling into plants on the way. So it's also funny. It's a very confusing scene.
It's a roller coaster is what it is, for sure. Yes.
Then the mom, Leung, just, oh my God, her comedy in this. And then her fake cry, she's literally like, ah, ah. And then she's like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Like pantomime crying. Yeah.
Like this was theater. This was filmed theater is what this was. Absolutely. Yes. But it made it so good. So much better than if they would have gone any other route. I swear to God.
Yeah.
But literally, Anita Mui's physical comedy in this one, like where she's trying to throw herself on the ground and everything like that, and they wind up doing that little dance move and all of this stuff.
Right, yeah.
Dude, this movie is incredible. I love this movie.
No wires. No wires for that. She's literally leaping through the ground and he's catching her and they just do it over and over again. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, you want to talk about a trust fall? Watch this scene.
Yeah,
because if she would have landed, oh my God, she would have, like, her chin would have gone through the back of her head.
Exactly,
Good
yes.
God. We already got that. But then after he does successfully kick Jackie out of the home and everybody's yelling at him and all this, he sends, or the mom sends Joe after Jackie. And then his dad's like, no, he went the other way. And it's just like, oh, dude, like I forgot. Like I said, I watched this a few times this week, but I forgot about that the first time. So when he directed him to actually go after him, my heart was on the ground. I was like, oh shit. Oh, good dad. Oh,
despite it all, he was no matter what he says,
a lesson.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. Like,
it's like, look, the kid's got to learn some hard lessons, but I don't want him sleeping on the street. Send the servants to go follow him.
Which I have no idea what timeline, like when this took place. I know trains existed. That's about all I know.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know either.
No, but it doesn't matter. However, but the reason that I bring that up, people used to be able to spank their children with impunity.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing. And
it very recently ended. It basically was, with my generation becoming parents, we were the ones who basically started bringing up, like, maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are mad at your generation about that.
You know what? Stand by it. Yeah.
There are. You don't like, I'm not saying that every kid needs to be spanked or anything like that. Mm-hmm. However, I am saying, I will never stop saying, there are some people who have went way too far in their life without knowing what physical pain feels like, and it is very obvious.
No, yeah. No, for sure.
They're like, some people still do need to get taught a lesson. And realistically, it's probably a little bit better if it's your mom or your dad versus some random angry dude at a bar.
I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, I've said before, there are some people you meet and you know right away they haven't been punched enough in life. I think I may have cross-stitched that somewhere. But
oh, that still cracks me.
But yeah, also at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's there is a line between spanking and abuse,
And I do agree.
Yeah, and I think the issue is that there are too many people who don't seem to know where the line is, and so societally, it's best for everyone if we just push that line a little further into the safety side for everyone's sake. That's where I stand on that. So
that is a very understandable position to take. I don't have any kids, so I don't really actually have to have a position on this one. So
sure,
honestly,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
I don't. I respect the struggle that parents go through trying to like weigh the decision over how to actually discipline your children. I respect that. I'm glad I don't have that problem.
Yeah,
plain and simple. But when he gets to that restaurant and he's sitting down, he's like, "I want to sing a song. I want to sing I Hate Daddy. Do you know I Hate Daddy?" And the guy's like, "Of course I know that song." And he just immediately starts playing a song.
Brilliant. I was fine. That I think was probably one of my biggest laughs in the movie, where he's just sitting there drunkenly like, "Do you know the song I Hate Daddy?" And the musician's like, "Yep." I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Right answer.
Never saw that joke in an American movie. Holy shit.
No, that was incredible. I loved it. Gets in, I mean, he's a little bit too drunk to fight, and they show up, they're like, "That's the guy. He's incredible. He took everybody out." Well, he's too drunk to fight, which is his dad's point, basically.
Right.
And he winds up getting his ass whooped and then strung up naked. Little rough.
Yeah.
Little rough.
Yeah. No, he had a bad day. He had a really bad day.
But I gotta say, man, when he comes out of it and So is sitting there talking, like, there's no point in really crying about it. And you think, like, okay, yeah, Jackie Chan's not actually crying. No, he is. And Jackie Chan is a very good actor. Like, a lot.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know if he's underrated as an actor in America, but I don't think it's not as obvious to the American audiences how good of an actor he is. I don't think.
That's the thing. And I think that there were attempts at it, but they didn't go so well. And so, like, as far as like American studios are concerned, they're not really, like, I never saw it, but apparently in the remake version of The Karate Kid, when Jackie took on the Miyagi role, from what I hear, he did really, really well as Mr. Miyagi. They say he was quite on par with Pat Morita on that role.
Oh no, yeah, that part of the movie was good.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is the movie otherwise tanked because there was nothing else good about it, and so his one foray into just being a dramatic actor instead of being an action comedy guy goes to the dogs. American studios aren't going to give him a second chance. That's what they do.
I don't know. I've been really hesitant about this because, well, I just am. But there's the movie that he came out with called The Foreigner.
I don't know that one.
That is one of his most recent releases, and it is an American film, and I do want to watch it. I haven't, because it's one of those things. If you know something is probably going to be one of your new favorite movies, you kind of save it for a bad time. You know what I mean? Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
So I've been holding on to that one until it's like, God, when am I really going to need to just watch something brand new or take it? Shit, maybe I'll do it for the show. I don't know. But
why not?
Absolutely loved it. When Joe is like trying to comfort him, is like, "Hey, now that you were strung up naked, all the women in town now want to marry you."
Once again, we bring this up a lot. What is it with these directors making a point to just talk about how big their dicks are on these movies? Like,
we've made that point on the show. What? We have?
Yes. Off the top of my head, Buffalo 66. You brought it up. I feel like there was
okay.
I feel like there was one other one.
I remember what I was talking about in Buffalo 66. Where there was like the guy in the bathroom. Okay, no, you are right. You are. Damn it.
Yep.
All right. You are right. No, Vincent Gallo in Buffalo 66. There was a scene where he's like in the bathroom and a guy like looks over at his junk. He's like, "It's just so massive." But then like later on in the movie, we see him in these little tic tac tidy whities, and it's very, very obvious that, I'm sorry, Vincent Gallo, but no, it's not. Like, So it's just a really weird option to put yourself in tidy whities in your own movie and then reference how giant your anaconda is. That's just goofy.
Yeah.
That was my point on that one. But damn it,
Okay.
technically you're right because I did bring that up. All right, fair.
And like I said, I feel like there was a second one somewhere in there. I just don't remember where.
I'm not going back through all those episodes to try to figure that out. You can do that on your time. Hearing his dad discuss the downfall of drunken boxing and just all the tears falling and how destroyed he is, he's like, only a few ounces can take you, like, you think you're invincible, you think you're strong, but it is how you become an alcoholic, by chasing that feeling, by chasing that strength. And that's where I was talking about, like, when you were distinguishing over what is the real bad guy. And that was where I was saying, like, I didn't know if that was like the Chinese letting the British into China, if that was alcoholism. I couldn't actually figure out what the real actual deep message of the movie was. However, considering the very final scene of this movie, I'm pretty sure we do know what the actual message is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fair to say that there's definitely, there's more than one for sure, because like,
well, yeah,
we've got the Union busting, we've got the British occupation, we've got alcoholism, we've got, wives that don't obey their husbands. I mean, it's all over the board on this movie. Like there's social commentary all across.
You took that to a pretty far point. But I mean, come on. Like, I loved Leung in this movie. Anita Mui, I loved her in this movie.
She was not amazing.
She was not a protagonist in this movie. Oh my God. Either she was a hard enabler or she was an antagonist. Like, she was not. She was for sure, yes. She was putting gasoline on every fire she could find in this movie. So
yeah. She was lying about being pregnant all the way to the end. She never
Thank you. Okay. I wasn't sure where you were going to take that one, but that didn't seem like really a misogynist thing, but because the dad was just doing his thing. We never really got to see him be like a bad guy, a misogynist or anything like that, or you will listen to what I say, like that kind of stuff. Or maybe we did.
It's true.
But we did see her just tank him every frickin' scene. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but all I know is the dynamics were unbelievably wonderful.
Oh,
laughing the entire way through. This is where we get our first time that we hear this. Water is good for us, but it can drown us as well. Which is what winds up being Jackie Chan's Bart Simpson moment for the rest of the film.
Bart Simpson moment?
Yeah, he had to write "Water is good for us, but it can drown us as well" on every fan over and over again.
That's right. I forgot. Okay.
That is 100% the Bart Simpson treatment.
Yes, that took me a moment to connect Bart Simpson to that. I'm like, he's Bart Simpson, and I'm sitting here going like, have a cow man? What?
Okay,
what is that?
Whoa, okay, that is a way deeper cut than the intro of every episode for 30 some years. But this was Master Fu Wenqi's arrival, and we get a little duel between them. But then Leung is like showing off her fighting skills against him, which was really, really cool, until Jackie comes out and then he takes over. And then this is what I was talking about earlier, where like the mom kind of acts like, no.
Right.
The dad comes in and Jack's like, she's like, are you okay? He's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just letting dad be a hero.
Right.
The amount of unnecessary like lines and everything that were in this movie that just sold the hilarity was incredible.
Yeah.
And it was also a good choice not to make Jackie the best master.
No, yeah. He's got a lot to learn, and a lot of this movie is about his journey of learning up to the even the final scene where like he willfully goes in to be the hero. Like this is not just him like trying to get out of a tariff. This is not him trying to, get revenge or steal something. Like by the end of this movie, it's straight up, I have learned what the right thing to do is, and this is the right thing to do, and so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, which they
And
were pretty
everything up to that point
freaking
is,
heavy with the symbolism at the end of the movie too.
oh yeah, well, I mean,
With Jackie showing up, whole movie, Jackie is wearing black robes the entire movie until he is wise, and then he shows up at the end of the
right.
movie as Gandalf the White, and just
he's
shows,
practically like he's practically the,
he just walks in with his white robes, no guns,
yeah.
wisdom, like all of this stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, I've been watching you for over an hour and a half now. This is not you.
Well, he was taken prisoner by the consulate for a couple of days. Clearly, they
There you
beat
go.
something into
There you
him.
go. Character development right there. See, there you go. Getting
Yeah.
whooped is a good thing. Nah.
Don't quote him on that. Don't quote him on that.
I loved it because when his dad comes in and we get to see the Master v Master fight, that was
Right.
great. And I love the respect that they showed. All of that. That was just very charming.
It was
scene.
interesting too because and it was interesting too because we got these two masters who kind of go head to head, and it happens pretty quick. They only like exchange a couple of quick blows, but it becomes very quickly like at the same time they're both like, "You mean no harm. I can tell you mean no harm too." Like they can tell, they are so good that they can tell, oh, this guy who's punching me, he's not out to get me. He's just defending his family or something like, or this guy doesn't have that animal killer bit to him. Like this is a good, we can put our fists down and talk this over. They both figure it out at the same time.
They can read each other's interstitium.
Nice callback, sir. Thank you. Very good. Nicely done.
So something that Doc informed me of a few episodes is there is some sort of new development that they've realized that there is some sort of additional organ, but like in our epidermal layer, that
it's almost like a second nervous system, and it connects every cell in our body all into one.
And what is it?
superhighway
Like it gets
system.
like dehydrated or something like that because of our preservation method. Is that's what you use?
Right? Yeah, we never noticed it before because the method we use to dissect our organs after death in order to take a look at stuff, apparently just dries it out and desiccates it enough to make it like almost invisible. And when people do see it, they assume it's just a flaw in the organ due to the like post-death, dissection.
So definitely
all the way up until with like
one.
the last 5 years.
That's a fun
Yeah,
one. And
so
I know I said
they-
I was going to research that and I still haven't, but I do actually want to check that out. I just wanted to make a crack about that because how does that pair with Chi? Basically perfectly.
Right, yeah. That's what they've kind of come down to. And when they were given their findings in China, all the Chinese doctors were like, "We already know what you're talking about." Like,
yeah, we've been doing this for a few thousand years. Yep. Which,
right.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
I loved the fact that Joe was using the jade seal as a mortar and pestle. I thought that
right. Oh my,
unnecessary.
I felt
hilarious.
I felt my asshole clench up when I saw that scene. I was like, yeah, artifact.
No, that was great. And we alluded to this earlier, but Fu Wen discussing the importance of keeping Chinese relics within China. And that feeds right into the restaurant brawl with the Axe Gang, which is why I went to go watch Kung Fu Hustle after this week. I'm sorry, you mentioned the Axe Gang. My instinct is to go watch Kung Fu Hustle.
No, I feel you there. Yeah.
I mean, that is like, we're talking martial arts movies, everything. I'm sorry, but Kung Fu Hustle is one of the best ones, and it has nothing to do with Jackie Chan.
I know. Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
You think
they would have at least called him for a cameo or something. Yeah. You'd think Cho would have been like, "Hey, Jackie, do you want to just be a walk-on?"
There is Kung Fu Hustle 2 coming. So we don't know what. Yep, that has been announced this year. We're getting a Kung Fu Hustle 2.
I know where I'm going to be.
Oh, hell yeah. No, and Stephen Chow is returning to direct. So I have such high hopes. But where we're talking about the restaurant brawl with the Axe Gang, honestly, just real quick, I'm just going to list off kind of what happens to this fight, and then we'll go through and discuss it. Deal?
Sure. Okay.
Jackie and the Master, they realize that they're under attack because everybody leaves, and the fight kicks off. Jackie jumps off the second balcony, goes through into a table, then uses tables for the fight, fighting with the bamboo shoots and using his shirt as the chute breaks. This is the scene I was talking about. I wouldn't even want to be a stuntman there. I wouldn't want to be an extra. I wouldn't want to be anything. That, I swear to God, every single person involved in that should have been an unbelievable martial arts. I mean, oh my God. Doc, go ahead, man. Just like,
well, I mean, I'm right there with you, man. I don't even know. Like, okay, so like I said, we get that in the bamboo scene. We get that sort of like just enough exposition on how dangerous it is. In that, when he first starts fighting with the bamboo thing, and it first starts splitting on him, the first thing we see is his hands getting cut to shit by the bamboo thing that he's holding, and the master figures it out instantly, rips his shirt off, uses it to tie the bamboo thing together so it's not cutting his hands anymore. And then even on top of it, grabs a thing of cooking oil and dumps it all over Jackie. So now he's got no friction because he's covered in oil. So now he's essentially safe from the flying piranha razor blade that is the bamboo reeds, that he's flinging around. And so we get like right off the bat, this is serious. And so when we see him flinging and this bamboo at guys and their faces and hands getting cut to shit as he does it.
So this is like the amount of extras that were in this scene. I mean, it was scores. It was like 100 extras or something like that were there. Actually,
and they all had axes. It was crazy.
And they were all part of it. But something that comes up a lot in movies like that stuntmen are sitting in the back and they're just kind of doing this thing and all that. But in this type of situation, it was completely understandable. I was never taken out of it. I was like, why isn't somebody coming in there? Because in real life, I mean, think about going to a carnival game and you are watching, you're waiting for your opportunity, and you just realized your opportunity went by you.
Right, yeah.
That's probably how something like this would go, is you're one of those guys looking to get your shot at getting in there and fighting the guy, but you're pretty hesitant and you might just realize that it just went by. So in a situation like this, and this is not just a dude with a knife or something like that nobody's doing anything. No, this is expertly choreographed, planned out, the weapons that they used, how they did it, how they secluded themselves. The master, dropping that staircase to seclude themselves. The scene was perfect. I absolutely, I mean, I have a lot of confidence in actually saying that scene was perfect because God damn, it was good.
Yeah. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, like this movie is 90%. Boy, you just got to see it.
Agreed.
This is probably the most you got to see it moment in the movie for everything that you just described.
Yes, or the fire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right. But we'll get to that. And in this moment, Jackie's real-life students show up to help. Little late. And that's what I love. It's like Jackie Chan actually has, like, for decades, has had apprentices that he's brought into his films, and he's, like, trying to pass the torch, all of this. Like, gotta love Jackie for this. You gotta love him for having that kind of commitment. But they're a little late, and when she dies. But they called him Menki. So I don't... Seriously, dude. Like, when it comes to figuring out what people's names are, when you're going for the Mandarin, the Cantonese, the English dub, shit, it gets confusing as hell, man.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it really does.
Then we get the confrontation with the British officials and meeting them at the British consulate, and Jackie and Sang sneak in separately. How clever it was to have that British dude not realize that was a different Chinese guy.
That was like, that's the Wile E. Coyote shit. Like I mentioned Wile E. Coyote before, but this whole scene is a weirdly like Wile E. Coyote type stuff, because you've got the British guy who doesn't realize that his Chinese guard is a different Chinese guard than he entered the room with. You get Jackie and his friend not realizing that they're on each other's side at some point because they're both like trying to tail the same British guy and they both think the other guy's the guard.
Right.
Like this, this is some of that comedy gold that we're talking about here, where they just like they took a bizarre situation and just kept making it funnier.
And it ends with them slinking across the floor when the lights turn on, and they use a fisheye lens to hide everybody, and it comes up, and there's your final Looney Tunes moment, and then it gets into a real serious one.
Yeah. It turns real serious real fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like them getting captured was funny. Them being captured was not.
No, that was rough. And we talked about this a little bit on the off time this week, but the reason why Jackie Chan's fights are better than anybody else's is because he gets hurt.
Right, exactly.
Like
he understands the hero's role is to rise up, to be put down and have an obstacle to overcome.
And that is a big point. And the other reason why Jackie Chan films are better, like their fights are better, is because in a lot of Western films, what they do is the camera will be here for this moment, and then they'll cut away, and then they'll go to a reaction, and then they'll be at this moment, and they'll come back in, and you'll just see the reaction. Jackie Chan, how he does it is he comes in for the hit, and then he does it again, so where you see the hit back here from another angle, and you get to see the full force as it's striking. So where in Western films, you never see the hit, in Jackie Chan's films, you see the hit twice. Like that. So, I mean,
and the second time almost seems like it's, and the second time it almost seems like it's being hit even harder, you know? So really it's like
No, I mean, digging in and diving in on how these things were done and why they were done makes me really understand why I have so much extreme nostalgia for Jackie Chan films.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, God, they were just so good. I mean, still are. Like, why am I talking like that? But then Leung and the dad are going back and forth, and she is manipulating. Oh, this is what I was talking about earlier. Leung manipulates the dad by asking his dead ex-wife, her sister, for help in handling him for our husband. What the hell? Is that like an old Chinese culture thing that they probably don't do anymore? I'm hoping, where like you just have to stay connected to the family, like where families were connected, so you had to keep it. Like, it's so weird.
I don't think it's even just a Chinese thing, dude. I think that's in the Bible.
I don't remember that in the Bible.
I'm like 90% sure there's like one of the, like, you know, there's something in the Bible about like if a man dies and leaves a widow, and he has a brother, it's his brother's duty to marry the widow to make sure she's taken care of.
Oh, I do. Okay, yeah, I remember something about that too. Okay, that is sounding a little bit familiar.
So I don't think this is just a Chinese thing. I think this is just a general old world thing.
Okay,
I think everybody was doing it to some degree.
Okay, I mean, because if you do literally have like the dowry gifts and stuff like that for deals and arrangements and things like that for families to be connected, yes, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, what
especially
weird thing to. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't.
Especially these upper class, especially these upper class families where it's like, these are like mostly political arrangement type marriages. If one of you dies and you got to keep the treaty alive. Well, here, take the other kid then.
Fair, dark, but fair. Yeah. Okay.
Dude, rich people are dark, man.
Yeah. I want to say I know, but I barely know any rich people. So, I just know what we see, and no politics. Not during the main show.
Right. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
They find out Dad sold the property to get them freed, and man, you gotta everything. They were trying to figure out how to get rid of the Kung Fu school, how to do all this. And this entire movie, Jackie Chan has just been trashing his father's reputation and everything that's been going all the way to now he has to get rid of his home, his school, his business, everything because of Jackie. Yep. And the incredible dad moment is he ain't even mad, or he doesn't show it. He just tells him, it's like, it's no point in focusing on this. It's time to focus on the future.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, what a man.
It's like you're home and you're safe. You're home safe now. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. When I say like that's a man, I know the modern era has like put like some like disdain on stuff like that, but realistically, being a man is not about being tough. It's not about being strong. It's not about any stuff. Being a man is just straight up whatever your responsibilities are, you handle them. That's it.
Yeah.
That is the core lessons that have been handed down to us. Everything else, that's just kind of other people throwing stuff on that. That's the lesson that gets passed down about being a man. It's just handling your responsibilities and just shutting up and dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved, because that's not a bad thing.
No, yeah.
This dad is a perfect example of that. Doesn't matter. You messed up. You trashed my life. Am I going to cry about it? No. I'm going to sack up and I'm going to take care of you because that's my job.
Exactly. Yep.
And I really,
you're my son and I am going to keep you safe. That is what I do, you know?
Yeah. And I did appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, then we go to that steel factory infiltration. They fire all the steel workers and they're all going to rise up. And then the spies find out that they're smuggling the goods.
Right.
That little tiny itty bitty, like that steel rod fight. It was such a short thing, just such a short, small, tiny moment. But like that French Indiana Jones just tanking those guys.
I know, right? Evil Indiana Jones just come like, and you know they did it on purpose. You know, Jackie was just like, no, he's Indiana Jones. He's got the hat. He's got the whip. That's totally who that he is. Yeah.
Oh,
he literally is going like,
no,
like
I'm
Mr.
Jackie Chan and I'm going to beat Indiana Jones.
Exactly. Yes. Mr. It belongs in a museum. No, motherfucker. It belongs in China.
Which, okay, I don't know if they did this in the sub, like in the original version, but in the dub, they kept introducing names of other Jackie Chan movies.
What?
Yeah. So he just goes like, all right, ready to rumble? Like he he just kept saying like his lines from his other movies, which honestly is the only incredible thing about the dub. Because that was just cheeky as shit.
That's spectacular. That is, yeah.
I think there were three different. I think it was like, no more Mr. Nice Guy, ready to rumble. Like it was stuff like that. Like he kept tossing those in, and it was I was falling. Like I wish I would have written down which ones they were. I loved it though. Prepping to fight. This is where we're talking about where the dad leaves Jackie Chan to his Bart Simpson punishment. Just writing down over and over again on the fan, you know, basically, I'm not going to drink too much. Like, that was the core lesson. And Leung is all in on the Prager's lie. All the way. Like, you can't come with us. You're pregnant. And she's like, you're right. Well, then you go. You know, I know this is a Jackie Chan movie, but you are right. She stole the show.
Yeah. Yep.
Hands down, she was incredible. The Steel Factory Showdown.
Well, I don't want to skip over one thing because this goes to what we were talking about before about the hundreds of takes in a Jackie Chan movie.
Oh yeah,
and there is, but when his friends come and be like, we need help, there's trouble at the mill, and she sends him off. But just before she leaves, she goes, "Hey, wait, you're going to need this," and she tosses him a fan. And it kind of loops through the air, and he catches it in the air and does this. And you know, that was at a bare minimum 50 takes.
Had to be. I mean, that was in the bloopers. There, like some of the interviews that I showed, he specifically talked about. There's a scene that I have to grab this fan, and we had to do that over.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
He specifically talked about that one scene, and just such a short moment, such an amazing thing.
Short moment. Not even like at any point, like I know even me, I consider myself to be, you know, somewhat of an artistic filmmaker in the attempts that I do. I would have, if it would have been me, I would have gotten to maybe take 15 before I went, you know what? This doesn't need to be in the movie. Like,
And that's why Jackie beats us.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, it just is. The protest turns violent as Chan shows up, all, like I said earlier, Gandalf the Grey into Gandalf the White. He is now Jackie the White, showing up in all his white robes with his little fan that has its wisdom on it. Not the character that we have known the whole movie.
But he's got one hand behind his back as he talks, just, like a wizard.
Yes, he is full Kung Fu master now. And
all
it took was getting his ass kicked in prison.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. But then they get the guns from them, and I love the scene where the guy was trying to shoot, but then Sang drops the sword in right before the hammer comes down to let the bullet fly. That what I loved. I mean, oh my God, that's awesome. That's the stuff that the little kid in me is like, yeah, kung fu, yeah. Like, no, that is like. That's the stuff that I remember just getting absolutely jazzed about and loving the fact that it still works on me.
Oh yeah.
Like the fact that I still get that reaction, that makes me really happy. But then they get the guns and Jackie says, no shooting. I like it that he just keeps it an honorable, grounded, hand-to-hand fight.
And they all go, okay, and they turn the guns over and start beating the guards with the butt of the rifles.
That's how you do it. But then, we go up against the French Indiana Jones again, and he has like the chain, instead of a whip, he has chains. Instead of no ascot, he has an ascot. He's very, very French.
Yeah.
But then, oh my God, the final fights. The henchmen are coming in, and Chan gives his lesson on patriotism. And the response from the bad guy's like, who cares? We want money. Like, okay, so the lessons in this: patriotism, anti-immigration, greed, alcoholism. Like, the movie is a little bit more complete than I realized as a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. There's a lot of like almost after school special level preaching going on, and like every other scene in this movie.
But that is understandable because like the Chinese government funds a lot of these films, so the messages that need to be in them are very much like Chinese government. And no matter how much. This does get a little bit awkward because a lot of people have a lot of hatred towards the Chinese government. I'm not a big fan myself. Sorry, algorithm. That's probably not going to work very well for me for saying that. But Jackie Chan is heavy China patriot.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
What?
Because it depends on who you ask. To a certain degree, Jackie Chan is more Hong Kong than he is China. And they do still kind of see themselves separately. Maybe not as much now.
But lived in China, so I'm going to have to just I'm gonna throw my hands up on that one.
Like,
but I'm not really sure how much of a superstar he is, a music star, movie star, everything like that. I thought that he like worked with the Chinese government and stuff like that, or the Hong Kong guy. But I don't know the geopolitical nature of China. I really don't.
Right. Okay. Well, But
let's kick that into the after hour.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Okay. All right. Was there something that you wanted to say on the fight, though?
Nope. I was mainly just talking about the morals of the story there.
Oh,
like you said,
Okay. All right. But we will get that soon. The henchman fight with the bosses pulling the levers. Go watch it. I mean, that's really all we can really say when it comes to things like that. Just go watch the scene. Go watch the movie.
Yeah.
The end of that fight where he just chucks the pipe at Henry and just kind of looks at him, and Henry's little giggle at that. Man, good bad guy. Good bad guy.
Yeah.
I got to give him that. And then we get our good guy move where even though he's fighting the guy winds up on fire and Jackie goes out of his way to put him out.
Right, yeah. He's even keeps like some dude is still trying to fight him, and he's just like just barely keeping that guy off while he tries to put the other bad guy out. Like, yeah,
and
he's making it very.
But he does that in a lot of his movies. Like if you see like one guy dangling off of a building and another guy's up there kicking Jackie, like he's fighting that guy while trying to save this guy's life. Those are incredible. Like those are perfect tension scenes. They just flat out are. And I love how well he does them every time. God, I just want to watch another 50 Jackie Chan movies after this. It's too good. Then we get Chan versus Henry and the Mr. Kicky guy, John. And and a scene or an image that has stayed in my mind my entire life since I have seen this is John shoving his chin into Jackie Chan's eye during that fight.
Right, yeah.
Oh. But when Jackie gets the upper hand later in the fight and then shoves his giant nose into his eye, turning that from a lot of pain into a bunch of comedy.
Right, exactly.
That was absolutely fantastic. John realizing that Chan can't do it drunk and then kicking Chan into that fire and then the slow motion as that is going across. Everything, obviously, this is a Jackie Chan film. Everything was real. Everything was real. Like all the fire, all the coals, everything. Jackie directed this portion of the film. He was not satisfied with his first take going through those coals, so he actually did that twice. You cannot, like nobody could ever possibly say anything against Jackie Chan's dedication.
No, that's true. Yeah.
I don't think there is
like
anybody
it's yeah,
more.
and that may be where the line is between Jackie and someone like Kubrick.
Oh, okay.
because Kubrick is behind the camera the whole time. When Jackie Chan's doing 100 takes, he's the one having to do them. He's the one putting himself through that shit, and so.
That's a good
there is
point.
in that degree. That's where he's different because he's not just torturing his actors. He's the one. He's dedicating. He's willing to do it himself. He's an actual general in this. I will not order my troops to do anything that I am not willing to do.
Very fair.
He lives that.
One thing, and this is a different movie, Rumble in the Bronx. I'm pretty sure it was Rumble in the Bronx. Jackie Chan has this amazing stunt that he has to jump. I think it was like 70 feet or something and land on a hover ship. The first time he did that, he made the jump and he broke his foot. Then, with a cast on, he did the jump again with a cast on and a rubber, basically foot condom that went around to look like he was wearing a shoe. And he did that stunt with a freaking cast on his foot.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan is the man. Hands down. Flat out.
I remember seeing that outtake of him putting the fake shoe on over the cast, and yeah, that was either Rumble in the Bronx or Super Cop. I can't remember which one.
Oh, I was thinking it was either Rumble in the Bronx or Mr. Nice Guy.
Then it was probably Rumble in the Bronx. This is the only one we're both remembering on that list. So,
probably okay, fair enough. So Henry reads off what's on the fan, and then Father's wisdom drives him to drink. I just had to. I just had to write the note like that.
Yeah.
Then, so Chan takes that alcohol that earlier in the film, they use this alcohol to kick up the flames on the coals that they're working in the steel mill. So this stuff is not drinking stuff.
It literally says warning industrial alcohol on the label is what it says it in Chinese, but that's what it translates to is warning big red industrial alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know what makes alcohol industrial. But apparently it's...
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I drank it in high school. Hey, I'm sorry, man. Flat out. If you don't understand that you can clean a carburetor with Everclear, you have not drank moonshine.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if I should be admitting that shit. Oh, God. Everybody all over the country. So many people do it. It's got to be fine at this point.
It's one of those things, man. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
fair enough. But I love when he's drinking the alcohol, he just starts choking on it, and he has that. And that was cold. Like, that was awesome.
that was kind of like what got me most about this scene, and a little bit in the other fight scenes, but this one even more so. It wasn't just the fact that the stunts and the fighting and all this sort of stuff. It's how through this, as he's drinking, his face gets beat freaking red, and he's frothing at the mouth. Like, he looks ill. Like, I am more concerned for what the alcohol is doing to him than I am the fire. Like, honestly, like,
and for good reason, as it turns out.
Yeah.
But then, he has that cold breath. Oh, no, my God. No, before that, when he jumps up on the guy and he has that like monkey move where he's like just shaking oh my God, how hard that had to be for the two of them to pull that off. I love that. I love that.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
That was like him fighting as a drunken monkey was incredible. Like, that was great. But that was he has the cold breath and then the vomit. And in the English dub, this is where the moment he goes, "Ready to rumble?" And then just goes after him. But at this point, he is indestructible and straight up unstoppable now.
Mm-hmm.
Having him take that break to go into a rage fit on that box, brilliant.
And I remember a comment hitting me because it was like I mentioned like how he's all red in the face and frothing at the mouth. Like, I had thought at the time, like, literally he's turned into Red Hulk. Like, that's what's happened. Like, he drank the alcohol and now he's the Red Hulk. He's beat freaking red and he is raging everywhere.
I just thought he looked like a straight up alcoholic at that point. Like 100%. But this is the nose in the eye, and then just go watch the fight. I mean, I don't know how to talk about this without literally talking about it for 5 hours each fight. It's nuts. Like,
right. Frame by frame, basically. Yeah.
So, I mean, just go watch it because the wrestling finish, great moment. But then just all the bubbles, fantastic end.
Which, that's one of those things, because it's like you kind of like, because we see that joke often, they had, especially in cartoons and even in some Disney movies where the drunk guy hiccups and a little bubble comes out. And so you don't give it much thought until we get to the outtakes of the movie and we see Jackie with all of his frothed up spit trying to make a bubble and get it to work on film, that you realize, oh wait, that one wasn't a cell shade like we usually see it as. He actually made bubbles with his mouth and like, Dude, Jackie, calm down, man.
Nope. I love it. I love it all the way. And now we get to the ending. Now, we watched this two different ways. I'm very jealous of how you watched it because you watched it in the original. I watched what was on Amazon.
Original. Right, yeah. I got the original Hong Kong version, yeah.
So what happened in the dub is the audio and subs have been cut because Miramax did not approve of the ending. So you can see it, and you can see why they didn't approve of it, but you can't hear what they say or read the subtitles. You can, so go ahead and fill us in.
So, yeah, they're basically, the whole town is celebrating because they gotten the artifacts back, and I think they've even taken ownership of the steel. The workers now have their own ownership of the steel mill.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's like some magistrate, I think he's supposed to be mayor or something, I'm not sure who he is, but he's some bigwig who's basically there to like give an award to Jackie and his whole family to thank them for everything they did to save the artifacts and save the steel mill and all this sort of stuff. And everyone's there having a great time. Dad is shaking hands like so proud. Mom is eating it up like, yes, I'm glamorous. I'm wonderful. Thank you. Even the servant Chen is there going like, I helped. Thank you. Everyone's there. Everyone's there but Jackie. And as they do the ceremony, it isn't until after the ceremony's over that the mayor guy goes, by the way, where is your son? Like, he was the main thing. And they're all like, oh yeah, no, he's out back, practicing. He's doing physical therapy because he got injured and because he drank the industrial alcohol, it's caused some blindness and some speech problems. So he's out back just doing, training as physical therapy. And he's like, oh, okay, all right. Well, he still could come out, I think everybody would love to see him. And they're like, No, see, you see, the problem is that it's not just his eyes and his talking. It's his brain. It's his brain. And as they're doing that, they walk back and they see Jackie there. And he is doing karate. He is physically like fighting people, but to quote another film,
wait, he's physically fighting people? That is not in the...
No, he's not fighting. He's training. He's basically doing a kata is what he's doing, you know?
Oh, because in the ending I got, he is just stumbling around the back while Cho is like making sounds with a stick or like basically look like...
maybe that, yeah.
Like it looked like
maybe,
they were playing Marco
okay.
Polo.
Right. Okay, yeah. I guess...
But I didn't have any subtitles, so I have no idea.
Because he was kind of almost at the beginning when they walk in before he faces the camera, he is kind of doing stances. So like, I think maybe it was a misdirect to make it look like he was training and I just fell for it.
Oh.
But yeah,
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, then he suddenly turns around and faces the camera and does an actual full on, you know, like he's absolute brain fried, you know, is basically how it ends, is that after drinking the industrial alcohol to turn into Drunken Master, he's basically now a monkey. So
he is a full-on brain damaged individual for the rest of his life. Yes. And so that's, like I said, like the message of this movie, based off how it ended, it's
yeah. I see what you're saying as far as like, you know, we've got imperialism is, you know, a villain here. Alcoholism is a villain here. Immaturity and hot-headedness is a villain here. I think the final lesson, workplace safety is important. You know, that's, I know. Right, it seems like I'm a mass. I swear I'm not just a shill for OSHA. I genuinely do believe this. And when the sign says warning, industrial alcohol, do not drink, it's there for a reason.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so that is going to bring a close to the Legend of Drunken Master and part 2 of this week's episode. So now for the movie fight. A very unnecessary
this is going to be rough.
Fight.
Yeah, this is going to be rough.
Who did we care about more? Now, here's the thing. Legend of Drunken Master had more scenes than I realized to make me care about the characters than I remembered.
Okay.
So I would like...
I see what you're saying there.
Like that scene with Jackie, with his dad and the stepmom.
Yeah.
That is hard. Jackie crying because of the effects of being an alcoholic or everything like that, and his dad's fears over it.
Mm-hmm.
I cared about him. I cared about
Sure.
When Jackie was strung up naked after that fight and the disappointment, and like when they had to sell the school and all, like I actually did care. So
I mean, it's not that I would say
Garp
I didn't care.
Wins. I'm just giving some love to the Drunken Master. Okay.
No, sure, of course. And that's the thing, is like that's the thing about this, is that to say that, yeah, Garp made us, you know, care more, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I don't approve of this movie fight stuff, you know, because to say that one is better than the other in that regard.
100% of our audience voted yes for more movie fights. So I think our audience hates you.
Savages, every last one of you.
I just think our audience hates you.
Probably. That's probably what it's come down to.
It started with you bashing Requiem. That's where that started.
I stand by it. I refuse to back down.
Okay, so round 1 very clearly goes to Garp.
Garp, yeah.
Round 2, I think that actually has to go to Drunken Master.
Well, for the technical, is that what you mean?
Technical aspect, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I mean, for sure, especially the fact that, yeah, after that, like you said, with that bamboo fight, the fact that no one died in this movie is a minor miracle, you know?
That we know of.
That's true. It was in Hong Kong. They could have covered it up a lot easier than they.
So the actual breaker on this one is going to be, what like, which one would we recommend more? Is there anybody that you wouldn't recommend Drunken Master to?
No, but but I mean, if I'm being honest, there's also nobody I wouldn't recommend The World According to Garp to at the same time.
Yeah,
maybe in different occasions for different moods, but I honestly cannot think of anyone I know anyway that wouldn't appreciate both of these films equally.
Well, we're definitely not going to bank on the audience to tell us who won this one, because Drunken Master got over 100 more votes than Garp.
Savages, every last one of you.
Okay, let's keep in mind here, Garp's like 20 years older than Drunken Master as well. So the amount of people who have seen it, very, very little in comparison.
All right. I think we should kind of massage the quizzes now, instead of like, which would you rather see? More of like, have you seen it and would you see it again? Because which would you rather see is an unfair comparison, especially when we're doing a horror movie against a comedy in October. That's just not cool, man.
I can see that. I got to give you that. God, I think I'm actually going to steer into what you said, and the occasion. There's not anybody that I wouldn't recommend go watch The World According to Garp, but there's not a time that I wouldn't recommend somebody to go watch Drunken Master.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I see. All right, I guess that does edge it a little bit. Yes.
Do you have like that's?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I would not call Garp a Christmas movie for sure.
Oh, God, no.
But I wouldn't see anything wrong with seeing Drunken Master on Christmas. It would be part of the whole party, joy.
It's a bit interesting.
World According to Garp is a good movie to watch at a funeral. That's
yeah, okay, no, okay, that is a good, like, a decent, like, somewhat life affirming movie, even though it was made in the 70s. So obviously the main character has to die. Just God, what was going on with people in the 70s? But I think I kind of want to give it to Drunken Master on that, but here's the caveat that I'm going to take in there. Drunken Master can't go to the tournament.
Why did you say that?
Because it's too different. Like, we actually have to like do a martial arts type tournament, because there's no way there's no way.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because how much I love Jackie Chan and how much I love martial arts films and how much I love comedy action, like all of that, Drunken Master is gonna win. Like, I'm gonna fight for it non-fucking stop, because like there's not a second of this movie that I don't find incredible.
Okay.
So when putting it up against like other stories and storytelling and things like that, I kind of want to set it aside for like when we have like, and when we've done enough action movies to have an action movie fight.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, I got nothing. I cannot dispute that.
So
no.
Like, that's what I'm gonna say. In my opinion, Drunken Master wins, but I do want Garp to be in the tournament, because I do actually want to fight for Garp. Like, that is something.
And I feel like it would be more. And that's the thing, is like, I feel it would be more interesting to see Garp go up against
a story.
Movies of, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. So there you go. Drunken Master wins, but Garp wins. So what we have,
be we not fair?
We try.
Yeah.
What we have for next week, though, for you, I have 10 things I hate about you.
10 things I hate about you.
A semi-modern.
I've seen that before, but
Go ahead.
I have seen that before, but it is a good flick. I don't mind talking about it, and it is it's. I'm trying to remember if that was one of the first, because there was a run of movies where they were basically taking Shakespeare and turning them into modern day teen comedies.
Oh yeah, they did.
I feel like that
there was in that era.
Like
I think this is the same era that they actually did that Romeo and Juliet with like Leo and John Leguizamo.
Leo DiCaprio and Claire Danes, yeah. And so there was like from the late 90s to like the early 2000s, there was this run of just turning Shakespeare into teen romance comedies.
And lest we forget, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties.
I don't even know where to begin with what you just fucking said.
I had to. I haven't seen it yet, but I think that's basically named after a Shakespearean play. So,
no, that's Dickens.
God damn it! Even when I tried to do a sideways joke, I still did it wrong. God damn it!
That's why I said I didn't know where to begin, because I'm like, first of all, that's not even Shakespeare.
No, it's not.
And I'm not even sure if that should be first of all.
Oh, that was bad. But this is a movie channel, not like we ain't coming in here talking iambic pentameter and everything every week. So, all right.
But yeah, no, actually, now that you brought it up, I think the Romeo and Juliet was actually the first one. So yeah, but this was definitely one of the high points of that run, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. Made me a Julia Stiles fan pretty immediately. So.
Oh, yeah. No, there's already some stuff I know about that movie going into it, but we'll save it for next week. All right.
What
do you got for me?
I have for you. I'm going old school, super, super old school. I'm going black and white on your ass. This movie was made in the 30s, I think, maybe early 40s. It's called Duck Soup. It's a Marx Brothers movie.
Starring who?
Groucho Marx, Chico Marx, and Harpo Marx.
Okay, so not directed, but starring. Okay.
Starring, yes. Okay. Directed, I'm not sure who it directed by. But yes. And I mean, kind of sort of directed, because that's the thing, is the Marx Brothers were a comedy troupe. So even if they weren't director in name, they had a lot of creative control over what was going on. So
all right.
I would say directed by is a very gray area in here.
Okay, fair enough. What's the premise?
Well, in this one, now, here's the thing about Marx Brothers movies. The premise really doesn't matter. It's basically just this, like I said, this comedy group, the Marx Brothers, just doing their thing in every movie. And I've been wanting to bring the Marx Brothers to this channel because they are one of those epic comedy troupes of the past. They started out on vaudeville before they went to movies. That's how far back these guys go. And and I figure I would get away with one. I figure one Marx Brother movie throughout the life of this channel is what I could do. And so I've been thinking really hard about which one to do. And I settled on Duck Soup because in Duck Soup, there is a specific Marx Brothers routine, one of their bits, that you are going to recognize.
Okay.
Because it has been recreated ad nauseum since they did it in this movie.
Okay.
When you see it, you will be shocked that this is where it began. You will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Fair enough. I'm looking forward to it.
But if the premise, as far as the premise goes, Groucho Marx plays the newly crowned dictator of a country, and hilarity ensues. And Chico is a spy trying to just basically get dirt on him for a non-specific reason. It's like I said, the premise don't really matter in Marx Brothers movies. It's just about these guys being the Marx Brothers.
All right. So that is going to be next week. That is going to be 10 Things I Hate About You and Duck Soup. From now until then, stay safe and stay sane, guys.
One way or another, we'll get through this together.